we'll go ahead and get started talking about the Bengals here. I know lots of my listeners are Bengal fans, and once again, the Bengals have lost the second game in a row. We lost the Jets last week. I felt like maybe it could have just been a fluke loss. Despite losing, it felt like our offense was good. We still scored over 30 points that game, and a losing effort against New York, and our defense just was not good. Defense was horrible, absolutely atrocious. Sunday against the Cleveland Browns, we ended up losing 41-16. I don't think anybody expected this to happen. I was feeling pretty confident we were going to be able to beat Cleveland. We were actually picked to win by, I believe, 1.5. I felt like that was honestly a little too low for us to win. Clearly, I was very, very wrong on that. It was just everything went wrong. I want to be honest. Joe Burrow was not good at all on Sunday. It feels like the honeymoon, is over with Burrow. We need to start, taking him accountable for, some plays and stuff like that. We can't just keep on babying him when he makes mistakes. He was not good on Sunday. He was good on Sunday the week prior against the Jets. Obviously, he was great the week prior against Baltimore. But you start looking at these turnovers with Joe Burrow, it's starting to become a problem. And you can't just not notice it. You can't say, oh, that's going to happen with a young quarterback. We know Joe Burrow's potential, and we know his potential. He's not one of those guys who's going to turn over the ball a ton. Sunday, you look at the first pick, a 99-yard interception return for a touchdown, which really, really set the tone of the game for Cleveland. He threw it to Chase, in the end zone. The corner cut it perfectly. It was a great play. Ran it back for a touchdown. His next pick in that game was targeted towards Jamar Chase. He snapped it, didn't even look at any other receivers. He knew Chase was 1-on-1. He threw it to Chase. It was behind him, and it was another pick. You go back to week prior against the Jets, he threw one interception. It was a screen to Jamar Chase. The week prior, he threw an interception against the Ravens to Jamar Chase. Burrow is targeting Chase too much, and, teams are really, starting to pick up on that. They'll have him single coverage at times, which is not very often. It seems like the past couple of weeks, Chase has yet to hit the 50-yard mark in each of the last two games. Joe Burrow is just targeting him way too much recently. And it seems like half of his interceptions are towards Chase. Chase's drops came into a factor this past Sunday. Offense could not get going. Joe Burrow had at least 2 passing touchdowns in every single game this year. Heading into that game against Cleveland, he did not even have a single passing touchdown against Cleveland this past Sunday. It was just atrocious. The defense was bad again. I'm not trying to be one of those people already start complaining, oh, the season's over. But this is, the Bengals teams we've seen in the past who gives us false hope. We'll start off really good, and then we'll just suck. If you look back a couple of years ago, I believe we were like 4-1 or something like that. And, 2018, I think it was, we started off really good and finished the season with 7 wins, something like that. It was just, it sucks because you look at the second half of the schedule for the Bengals, it's not easy. And with going back to, Chase and Burrow, it's becoming an issue big time. If this Bengals offense wants to be in elite status, like it's 100% capable of doing, they have to get Tyler Boyd the ball. Tyler Boyd is one of the most underrated receivers in the NFL. If you don't follow Cincinnati, you wouldn't really know that. And if you were just looking at the stats this season, you would think he's just some average receiver. The last 5 games, since T. Higgins has came back from injury earlier in the season, the last 5 games, Jamar Chase has had 48 targets. T. Higgins has had 42 targets. Tyler Boyd has had 25 targets the last 5 games. That's exactly 5 targets a game. And honestly, when you watch the Bengal games, you honestly don't even think he's had that much. Tyler Boyd needs to get the ball more. You look at the catch percentage when you look at the big three, our big 3 receivers in Chase, Higgins, and Boyd. Chase's catch percentage is 60%. That's when a ball is targeted in his direction, his percent he's going to catch it at 60. T. Higgins has 61, and Tyler Boyd has 69. He's one of the more underrated receivers in the league. We as Bengal fans know that. And it seems like there's times Burrow just purposely does not throw the ball to Tyler Boyd. And it goes back to Burrow is constantly just throwing the ball to Jamar Chase. I know you've had chemistry with him prior to the Bengals, and I know Jamar Chase is going to be one of the best receivers in the league for years to come. But there's other receivers too, and it's not like there's like bums or not players who aren't really good or nobodies. Tyler Boyd, up until not including this season, has averaged over 1,000 yards the last 3 seasons. T. Higgins is going to be a really nice receiver in the league for years to come. There's a reason why we as Bengal fans say that we have the best receiving core in the NFL. There's a reason why we say we debatably have the best wide receiver trio in the NFL. I'm not going to say we have the best trio, but we do have one of the best wide receiver cores in the league, but you're not going to notice it because Jamar Chase is taking all the targets. And I understand he's a great player and he's going to be phenomenal, but we have to get Tyler Boyd involved. The lack of Tyler Boyd in this offense is absolutely ridiculous. There should never, ever, ever, ever be a situation. Well, this past Sunday, we played the Cleveland Browns, who on paper have one of the best rosters in the league. Really nice team, underachieving. They are really good. There should never be a situation where Tyler Boyd has fewer targets in a game than Drew freaking Sample. I know most Bengal fans, including myself, do not really like Sample. He's a blocking tight end. He's not somebody who's going to, get multiple, lots of targets a game. But when he has more targets than Tyler Boyd, something's wrong with that offense. It really needs to stop. Boyd needs more targets. Burrow needs to stop targeting Chase as much. And if Burrow continues to target Chase, like I've already said, people and coaches and teams are going to start picking up on that, and it's going to lead to more interceptions for Burrow. I feel it's kind of a similar situation years ago when Andy Dalton, his first couple of years, he would only target, it seemed like, A.J. Green. And you look at Andy Dalton's interceptions during that span, the majority of his interceptions was when he was targeting A.J. Green. I mean, we could be seeing a similar resemblance between Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. But hopefully Boyd gets more involved in this offense. Hopefully, if Chase does get the targets like he's getting right now, he's, not dropping like he did this past week, and he helps his catch percentage. But, it's really interesting with the Bengals because when you start looking at this schedule for the second half of the schedule, it is by no means easy at all. We are 5-4 right now, which is good, but 2 weeks ago we were 5-2. We were really exceeding expectations during that time. The fact that we've lost the last 2 games against the Jets and we've also lost to the Cleveland Browns this past Sunday, we were once exceeding expectations, and just 2 weeks ago, we were first place not only in the AFC North, but in the AFC in general. 2 weeks later, we're last in our division. I mean, with the Steelers, the refs typically, as always, helping the Steelers beat the Chicago Bears this past week. We are last in the AFC North. 2 weeks ago, we were first in the AFC. That is ridiculous. That's a problem. Because when you look, let me see here, when you look at our schedule for the second half of the season, it is absolutely very, very difficult. You look at all these teams, every single team is either 500 or better except for the San Francisco 49ers. And they're a team who has not been healthy as of recently, so you can kind of make an excuse for them. So, obviously we have the bye week, this week, which is going to be very beneficial for us. We need that so bad. And, the following week we play at the Raiders. I know the Raiders lost this past week, but the Raiders are a good team despite all the circumstances and all the, headlines going in Las Vegas. They are really playing very, very good football. And then we play the Steelers, and I'm not going to say we're going to lose the Steelers, but I know the Steelers have won. They're in like a 4 or 5 game winning streak. The teams they've beat have not been good. But the way we're playing right now is not good at all. Then we play the Chargers. I think that's a loss. The Chargers are one of the more underrated teams in the league, in my opinion. We play the 49ers, like I said. That's really a toss-up. I know the 49ers are the only team on this list that's under 500, but they've not been healthy. Then we go at Denver. I think that's kind of a toss-up. I know some people would disagree, but if Denver can just have a consistent quarterback in this game, I think Denver has a shot at winning. Then we play Baltimore home, which the more you start looking at that Baltimore game, you can honestly make a case that might have been a fluke win, unfortunately. But, after that, we play the Chiefs. The Chiefs have underperformed this season. They're barely getting by in wins. They did not look good against the Packers and Jordan Love this past week. Then we finish at Cleveland. which, heading into the season, you thought maybe at Cleveland might be benching their starters because, the Browns might be battling out for the final seed in the AFC, the first seed in the AFC. Maybe they'll be benching their starters because they already, clinched the first spot. That is not going to be happening, it looks like. So, this schedule is tough. Being 7-2 and 5-4, that's a huge difference. I know I'm stating the obvious here, but even if we were, instead of 5-4, if we were like 6-3, like this is not good at all. 2 weeks ago, we were looking like maybe we can end up winning the division. Now, looking at the schedule, we're going to be lucky we're in the playoffs. I know I might seem like I'm overreacting, but I don't know how I'm not. The Raiders are a good team. The Steelers are improving. The Chargers are good. The 49ers are good. And the Broncos, Ravens, Chiefs, and at the Browns. Looking at the schedule, I'm gonna give us probably 3 wins. I would take us over the Raiders. I would take us against the 49ers, and I would take us against the Broncos. I can maybe see us beating the Steelers or maybe another team in that, but I feel the thing is, it's hard to feel confident. Like, you feel really, really confident in 3 or 4 of these games. Like, I think we can beat the Raiders. I think we can beat the 49ers, and I think we can beat the Broncos, but I don't feel super, super confident in us beating them. I felt super, super confident in us beating the Bears. We lost. I felt super confident in us beating the Jets. We lost. I feel pretty confident in us playing against the Browns this past week, and we got humiliated on our home turf by 25 points. The schedule is brutal for us. This is going to really show what type of team we have. We have to get at least 4 wins to have any chance of the playoffs. One good thing is, out of these 8 games, 5 of them are at home. But as of right now, looking at the schedule, I'm going to take us against. I would take us against the Raiders, the 49ers, and the Broncos. That would leave us 8-9. That was my original prediction for the upcoming season. Hopefully, I'm wrong. But the way we are playing right now, like I don't see how people can expect us to win a lot of these games the way we're playing right now. Early on in the season, I think we're capable of beating any team on this list, but the downfall of this team the past couple of weeks has been atrocious. Hopefully we can pick it up. I don't want to get my hopes up because it seems like every single year it's just false hope with us. We start 5-2. Now we're 5-4. Now we're going to be battling out for probably a final seed in the playoffs. But it's going to be really interesting. It's really good we're getting that bye this week because it's going to be very beneficial for us.